Greetings. The excitement and hopes of a new academic year never gets old, even in the time of a coronavirus. I am Sister Susan Rudolph, Prioress of St. Benedict's Monastery, the founding monastery of the College of St. Benedict, like Abba John Clausen, the leader of St. John's Abbey, the founding monastery of St. John's University. In the name of our entire monastic community of 180 sisters, I welcome back the rising sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and I welcome the new first year and transfer students. This campus is home for me, and I hope it is or will become that for you also. It offers the heart of a community, essential to a Benedictine environment and learning institution. And I invite you to let the chapel dome always be a concrete symbol of the Benedictine hospitality and an inclusive community of welcome. The Benedictine heritage of the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University shapes and roots these institutions. I'm happy to have a few moments to share and add texture to the understanding of this heritage. When I was a first-year student, many years ago, the tradition of this college was to spend the whole first week developing an all-campus pageant as the cornerstone of the orientation. The week was an intense preparation in which all upper-class students engaged in learning their parts to reenact the historical tradition of passing on the light of learning to the incoming first-year students. The pageant was based on a 1,500-year-old history of St. Benedict and the Benedictine scholars who promoted culture, the development of educational systems of study, with, of course, the preservation of documents and the writings of human history. The pageant was grand, it was glorious and inspiring. Let me describe it a bit. It began with the wild barbarian dancers representing the warring tribes of ancient Europe. There were the Huns, the Teutons, the Picts, and the terrible Gauls fighting for domination. And then in the pageant enters the beautiful, persistent flame dancers, gradually penetrating the resistance to bring the light of learning to educate the people. Next came the peasant dancers. They appeared on the scene to form communities of rich cultural joys, learning skills, and seeking answers in their search for meaning in life. Each new generation took up the light of learning and added its unique contribution to the growth of knowledge and wisdom, sharing with one another, working the lands, building their governments, and developing a culture of learning. Through this pageant, the reenactment of how the Benedictine love of learning and desire for God grew throughout Europe by passing on the tradition through the scholarship of great Benedictine men and women who lived the values expressed in the rule of St. Benedict. To this day, St. Benedict is considered the father of Europe. The highlight of the pageant, of course, was the ritual passing on the torch of learning to each new student through the flame dancers and the hands of great scholars of the past generations. The new bennies were handed the light of learning and commissioned to receive the light, and in their study of the liberal arts and various disciplines, prepared to pass it on as a bigger and brighter light to the new generations coming after them after their graduation. I recall the powerful nature of that orientation experience that involved the entire student body, having roles as there were the barbarian dancers, the flame dancers, peasant dancers, choral readers, singers, musicians, a cast of saints and scholars, and the new class of bennies to receive the light of learning. This inspired ceremony taught a lesson in cultural history, the Benedictine heritage of this college, and of course, the Benedictine values. Immediate community was built in doing the pageant. Students were challenged to study and be responsible for passing on the fruits of their study to make the world a better place and to live the Benedictine motto that in all things God may be glorified. The pageant was a week-long orientation. And of course that was possible because the student body was less than 500 students, and the campus consisted of 2 buildings, the main building and 1 wing of Mary Hall, Aurora Hall. All of you have experienced your initial orientation. May that same light of learning that you received as Bennies burn brightly. This is your turn. May the spirit of Benedict and the Benedictine values capture your heart and shape your lives. There are some reminders on this campus of the Benedictine Spirit that are hidden in plain sight. One I already mentioned, the towering dome of the chapel, the sign of a welcoming community to all. Then there's the chapel, a beautiful work of art, and also a sacred space for worship and wonder. My community of vowed Benedictine women on the north end of the campus, committed to live the rule of St. Benedict through a life of work and prayer, and who are eager to support, pray for, and with students, to form friendships and promote good trouble with any student who are interested. The campus is dotted with buildings carrying the names of great Benedictine women from our more recent history. There is value in knowing the influence of women like Mother Henrietta Ossendorf, Sisters Brian Spain, Margreta Nathy, Coleman O'Connell, Mary Patrick Murray, and many others. And have you heard the bells of Clemens Library ring? The 4 bells have names to remind us of the value of prayer throughout the day. As students, this is your dome, your bells, your buildings, your places of discovery of growth, development, and education. Now, one last thought I want to share. I live by the paradoxical belief that in our weakness is our greatest strength. It is this recognition that serves to remind me of my dependence on God and of the rich resources of my life that lead me to new insights and solutions to challenging problems. To be in the situation of learner as you are is a wonderful place to be. Enjoy your education. Allow this liberal arts opportunity to develop the potential within you. Try new things, discover your gifts, your talents, build relationships, challenge one another to be the best you can be and become. Make your contribution and add to this thread of Benedictine history. I pray for you and symbolically pass on the light of learning to you to let your light shine now. Thank you.